Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man. I love podcasting.
Oh, it's awesome. We recording? We started now?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
I've been recording, bro.
Oh, all right.
Frankie Andre, everyone.
Hey.
Comedian extraordinaire.
Wait, that's Cedric.
What is that guy's name?
Oh, God, I always forget.
Yeah, me too.
I know he's entertainer extraordinaire.
Yeah, there's a comedian on the scene that goes by that name already.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
This Frankie.
Oh man.
No, like the podcast that we were attempting to do, we were calling it The Sinking City. And it was one of the more interesting ones is like in the middle of the podcast, it's in my house. And right in the middle of it, a couple across the street started arguing. Like all I hear is a door slam and this guy coming out going, "Fuck you, Rachel." And it just like, oh man. And it just went on from there. Like he would yell, but she would just stand there all calm and saying, "Oh yeah. Mm-hmm." You know, that passive aggressive sort of tone that, you know, women will take when they know that they're wrong. Yeah. But they're just going to keep frustrating you until the end.
So what do you think? You think he cheated on her or she cheated on him? Sounds like she cheated on him.
I think it was more along the line. There was a money issue.
Oh, okay.
Because there was I heard something about $3,000 fucking power bill.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, how the hell did you get that power bill up? And why is your power still on at this point?
It's
any of this stuff is, and then he just, anticlimactically, because all he did was yell at one of the kids, like, "You come with me," and the kid's like, "No."
Oh, poor kids.
Yeah.
I hate that shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's gonna take that with him, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, my parents, they got divorced, but it was late. I was 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't really affect me as much as my brothers did.
How young are they?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's been a while, but they were at the time. They were still in school. Daniel just reached high school. He's the second oldest, and then there's Eric. He's in elementary school. And he was also with the Boy Scouts with my dad and my stepdad. And in the midst of the divorce, you know, is going to be arguing. But they would always try to put me in the middle of it, saying, your dad's acting like a child. And my mom's like, yeah, my dad's like, your dad's acting like a child. And then I'm like, you're both acting like children.
Yeah, exactly.
And y'all need to leave me out of it.
Yeah.
And essentially, she never talked to me about it again.
Yeah.
And then my mom got married shortly after.
Do you talk about that stuff on stage?
I haven't.
Why not?
I've actually brought up my brothers a couple of times. I never really mentioned the divorce. I have to write it to make it sound funny because that little child thing where they were going back and forth, that's kind of funny.
Well, what do you draw from to get your comedic stuff?
Oh,
just life in general.
Just life in general. I walk around. I don't have a car, so I walk around the whole city. So I see stuff all the time. There was one the other day. I was going to Walmart, and this dog was pissing and shitting at the same time.
Oh, that's impressive.
I know, and I was like, "That's multitasking. You're saving time. I get that, dog." But at the same time, the look on his face, it was confused. It wasn't sure what it was doing, and then of course the woman after that had to pick it up. And in my head, I was like, "Well, damn! I thought the dog was supposed to be the bitch." You know, and that's as far as I went with that one. I also go to the Audubon Park where I saw this couple. They're riding bikes together. It's really cute, right? But the thing is that the woman was riding a regular mechanical bike and the man was riding an electric bike.
Smart.
Yeah, right. But the thing is at that point, you're not really doing the same thing. If they were going up a mountain, she's climbing and he took the ski lift.
Maybe he already worked out, you know?
Maybe. But then it gets even better. Because then later on, when we go to the end of the park, I see them laying next to each other, but they're on top of a picnic table, you know? And I was like, that's gross. You know, people come out here and eat food all the time. You're already outside, but nobody wants your sweaty body as well. I mean, her sweaty body because she was doing the work. But
I mean, some guys are into that.
I mean, if you're into it, yeah. But like, here's the thing in my mind, like as it going to the park. Okay, so we're gonna go to a park, maybe a picnic. You bring, I don't know, a fucking blanket, maybe. And or you basket, but nope, you sleep on the table. And I was like, not even the homeless lay on top of the picnic tables.
Dude, I saw a homeless guy one time. And I think I think he was doing us a service, right? Because I mean, homeless guys, they could just shit anywhere they want to, right?
Right.
But this guy backed up to one of those the trash containers.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled the black container out and was using that as a toilet. And I was like, dude, that's I find that to be, he's not being that bad. That's a good thing, right?
I was gonna say he's being ergonomical or whatever the word is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I was like, that's impressive.
Yeah. I was actually. It's interesting you bring that up. It wasn't long ago. A guy I met through the drive-thru where I work. He was doing a movie, and he casted me as a homeless man who takes a shit in a restaurant courtyard.
Okay.
And I really only had one scene, and what it was is that the two main character and his boss are arguing because he showed up late.
Mm-hmm.
And I pop in and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're all like, "Get the fuck away! Why are you always shitting in our courtyard?" And I was like, "I fucking shit where I want to." And then they say, "Get the hell out of here, man." I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go paint the town brown," and that's when I walk away.
It's a good line.
Thank you.
What is this, a movie that we can see, or is it like a short film?
It's a movie you can see, but it's not out yet.
Mm-hmm.
The director actually he put it on hold for Mardi Gras.
Okay.
So what he said, he only filmed half of it, and I haven't really heard from him.
Do I know him? Is he coming around the comics?
No, actually.
Okay.
His name is Alvin. I don't know his last name, but he's a film student.
Dope.
And he was just putting it together and just met through the Starbucks stuff.
We're trying to do some stuff with the comedians right now, trying to get some like little skits and stuff written.
Yeah. So
it'd be kind of fun to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. I had put it off doing stand up for about a month or two because I was really hitting this like low point,
It's the best time to create when you're in the low points, right?
Oh yeah. And I put it away and I've just been kind of just mingling with ideas from since then.
Yeah.
I really should start writing more and probably reading a bit, but I haven't really read a book since Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, you actually read the book on that?
Yeah, I read that book. Yeah. It's actually in all my usernames when it games or Instagram, whatever, it's always going to have the number 42 in it because that's the answer to meaning of life or whatever.
What do you think that's about?
Well, here's the thing is that when they ask that question to the computer, well, what's the ultimate answer? What's the answer to the meaning of everything and whatnot? Well, the thing was, you were asking a computer. Computer's not going to give you what's the kind of answer? It's going to give you a numbered answer because the computer, it does everything logical, mathematical, all that stuff.
Okay.
As giving you a real philosophical answer. If it was an AI, that would make sense.
Yeah, but so what is 42? How is that the answer to the universe?
I don't know. That's an excellent
You've read this fucking book and you don't know. You ever pondered that?
I have wondered. I know I have thought about it, but the thing was.
Well, let's figure it out right now, Frankie.
Okay.
How is 42 the answer to what the universe? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. It's the question is, what is the ultimate answer to everything? The meaning of, and they don't ask for the meaning of life. What they're asking for is the ultimate.
Okay. So he says 42.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you make 42?
Well, they say divided by 2 would be 21.
Okay.
All right. That's legal age for drinking.
But it's also 3 if you take the 21s and you combine those.
Right.
2 and 1. But then there's 2 of them, so it's 6.
And then
7 times 6 is 42, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're not getting anywhere here.
No.
We should ask ChatGPT.
Chat DVD.
Yeah, the AI.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if it would give us the same answer.
Maybe. Probably take a billion years though.
Have you messed with it yet, ChatGPT?
I have not.
Oh, it's actually pretty fascinating, man. We were up here one night and I saw this guy do this on YouTube, and he basically used ChatGPT to create a children's book.
Oh.
And then he started selling them online, and he made tons of money doing it. So I was like, let me see if I can do this. So we come up here one night, and I asked the bar, I was like, what should we write this book about? And one of the guys was in here, and he was like, make a book about the animal kingdom. Okay. So I type in, because there's a word limit in ChatGPT. So I type in, make me an outline of 10 chapters of a book about the animal kingdom. And it does it in like 1 minute, just knocks it out quickly. And then you go back and you say, okay, now write chapter 1. And it goes back and it refers to its outline of chapters, and it writes chapter 1 for you. And then you say, okay, now write chapter 2. And it writes chapter 2. And you can have an entire book cranked out in maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
Then you take that and you go to Amazon, their bookstore, and you put it on the bookstore and start selling them.
No shit. But doesn't that really like cut out like the whole creative process?
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's totally not fun, but it's a good way to make money.
I mean, that makes sense.
Because I think that in this world that we live in, there are so many creative people, but creative people tend to suck at monetizing themselves and just making money in general. So a lot of these creative people, they get like kind of swept under the rug, like they don't ever actually get exposure. Right. But if you could take a creative person and give them a way to make, tons of money, they could, use the extra time they have when they're not out working to make money to actually pursue their art, or use that money to market themselves.
Right.
So all you fucking creative people out there that constantly work all the time just to pay rent, start using ChatGPT, man.
I think I might actually do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I was watching one YouTube video where they were using AI program to write stuff like that. Just type in like Sonic the Hedgehog or something like that. And then they would do a whole thing about Sonic and Tails and the whole adventure and whatnot. But it wouldn't be like a whole book. It would have just been like
a skit.
Yeah. A skit thing.
Yeah, I did it with Marcus one night, Marcus Bond. I was like, what's your latest joke about? And he's like, oh, it's about this. And I was like, okay. So we're sitting there with ChatGPT, and I was like, write me a joke about this premise. And I gave him the same premise that Marcus gave me. And in like 1 minute, it had an entire skit plopped out. And I was like, read this and see if you think it's funny. And he read it. And of course he was like, it's not funny, because, but I mean, it's incredible that, I think there is something missing from it. There's like a human point. There's something human missing from it, but it's incredible that it can work that fast. Like, I still think that humans can do better work than AI, but where it takes you a week to write a comedic skit that's perfect, ChatGPT can write 1,000 scripts in one day.
Oh man.
So one of them have to be a banger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of them's gotta be, but I don't know. I just feels weird about cutting that human part out.
I agree. Yeah. It's, we're moving into like this very dangerous realm where if we don't watch ourselves, we're going to end up becoming obsolete ourselves.
Right. And it would be our own fault.
Yeah. I think that's inevitably humans' downfall. Cause we lack foresight. Yeah. Just like with the Ohio thing that they just happened when they burned all the chemicals or whatever. Like that's so stupid. Like who the fuck does that? And I think it's just the fact that humans, we suck at like going, okay, well, if we do this, then for the next 30 years, this is going to be a problem.
Right.
So we just end up doing it just for the immediate results, immediate gratification. And it's like, nah, you got to put time in and effort.
Yeah. You gotta do all of that. Which I'll admit, I don't generally put an effort into a lot of things. I really wanted to put into doing stand up for a while. I didn't like, not having a car made it difficult getting around, but it's not like I couldn't walk I always walk to, like, say, the Hi-Ho or to the New York Pizza and to here, you know, I made that effort, but I think it was my writing part was what I was lacking, and not having to, like, actually coming out with full bits, but I would come out with them as I went along. Okay, so if I just say a premise, maybe something funny will come from it.
Yeah. That's what John was talking about earlier. He was saying that when he first got into performing, they didn't have like all their songs fleshed out. So sometimes when he was on stage, he would have to just like make up the songs as they were going. So they had the music, but he didn't have like the words written. And he said sometimes when he would go back and re-listen to the songs, like there were things in there that he would have never sat down and had wrote on a piece of paper. But in the moment, like it was like magic was happening. And I think it's the same thing with the comedians when they do the open mics and stuff. It's like you're standing up there and like you will get something great out of the audience from their feedback and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's why I love, what is the guy's name? Oh my God, there's this new comedian out that at the end of his bits, he always does like a question and answer session. Mark Norman.
Oh yeah.
I think it's his name, Mark Norman. I think he's from here, but he does this Q&A, and dude, his stand-up's really good, but his Q&A sessions are the fucking best. He's so funny and so quick.
Yeah. Steve Hofstetter does that at the end of his bits. Like he has not just him, but any of the comedians that he worked with that night, they all do that together. Yeah. And I see videos, and then people get really rowdy. Some get offended, you know, and which is usually the funniest part, because the way they get offended about is really dumb most of the time. Like there was one clip about, like, he was going on about something about Nazis, and then she got upset and walked out, and then they go, oh, well, I guess she was a Nazi. And because they were making fun of the Nazis, and she just got offended by it. And I'm like, oh, well, yep, that was a Nazi.
Dude, people that get offended suck. It's like, get up and leave the fucking show. Who cares? Like all you're doing is you're putting yourself out of the funniness. Yeah. Like I think that about all these things. Like when you get upset, all you're doing is getting upset. Like no one else gives a shit. No. Like our day is fine. You're getting upset. It's on you. You walk around with that negative energy all day long, but we're going to be fine. Oh yeah. That's why I love hanging out with comedians, because it's really hard to offend a comedian. And I love that. I love being around people that don't give a fuck. Yeah.
That was, I'll fully admit that was kind of a tough thing at first for me, because
didn't you get kicked out of a bar or something down here? One of the open mics, or asked not to come back or something?
The not the Jinx.
You don't have to say the name if you don't want to.
No, but I did get kicked out. I fully admit I drank way too much that night. And the bit is that I was talking about how there was a woman, transgender, and she had won lots of money through Jeopardy. And then the whole community or whatnot, she said that she was she was representing the transgender community, right? But my joke was like, so, but who voted for you? Like nobody put in any assignments. You just claim that you're the representative of all trans now because you decided that, because you won some money for yourself, which you didn't even donate to your community, by the way. You did it for you. Yeah. Not for anybody else. Don't claim that you're a representative.
That's what people got upset about? Yeah. Why?
I don't know, because
you said trans and you're a white dude.
Right. Yeah. And there was a couple of times that I said tranny, you know,
still.
Yeah, I know. And I wasn't like I had a couple, like one or two comedians come up to me afterwards saying, you can't say that word. And like, I felt.
Why did you say why?
No, because he said it was offensive towards the transgenders.
Because you should have said, I am one.
Yeah. But now my opening bit is me saying I look like puberty gave up on me. And then if I was transitioning, he looks like I would do that. Yeah. And that's my new opening bit. So like, And I'm not making fun of transgenders. I just look feminine, and that's whatever. I don't give a shit. Like that's
dude, self-deprecation. That's a good comedic tactic right there.
Oh yeah. And if I start off with that and then, I do a couple more as I go along, it's still a work in progress.
There's a comedian that I saw one time and he's a very handsome guy. And he's like, it's as soon as I get on stage, I immediately have to address that. Because if I don't address that, then people are going to be looking at me the entire time rather than listening to what I'm saying. So I immediately have to get on stage and address the fact that I am a good looking guy. And then we go from there. And I was like, that makes so much sense when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. To get them on your level saying, look, I understand how I look as a person and just seeing that, I make fun of myself. And then now we can go into other things, other people, what stupid things they do and so on and so forth.
I do love it though when the audience gets pissed off at comedians. I think it's great because like why the fuck would you even come to a show if you know that you're gonna get pissed off?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And I think sometimes they do it on purpose. They come to shows to get pissed off.
Yeah, that happened at the Hi-Ho a couple times when I was sitting there. And then this one lady, I don't remember the situation exactly. All I know is at one point, DC was telling her like, hey, look, we don't know why you're here for this. Why you now you're getting offended. You need to leave. But she fought like she didn't want to go. And I was like, and the whole crowd, everybody in the bar had turned on her. Yeah. At that point, you should go.
Oh yeah.
We're done. Like this is it. That happened at the Comedy House. I remember one particular night. It was this old lady and she came up and for some reason, when I looked into her eyes, they were like this really light blue and her pupils had thinned ridiculously. Right. And I was like, okay, so this woman's already insane or on drugs, drinking something. Like immediately that's what popped into my head. Mm-hmm. And cause she got really close to me, felt like I never met before. And I was just like, okay, well. I actually asked her to back up and I was like, okay, yeah, they're $20 a ticket, so on and so forth. Like, go ahead in, right? And right when Clara Kelly went on and she started doing that one joke about how she has the right to shoot it. Mm-hmm. That's when that woman got offended and got pissed off and just started arguing with her on stage. And that's when Chris and Tammy told that woman, you got to go. Yeah, this is done. You just too much. That was, and then I went to go see Bill Burr, and
so fucking good, dude. I love Bill Burr.
But Bill Burr is the best. He was one. He's in my top 10 at least.
Yeah.
And I was so excited, but I had this like at the very beginning of the show, two things occurred. Mm-hmm. One, I see 2 seats down beside me. The guy gets up, and he crosses past and I see that he has a pistol in his back shorts. Mm-hmm. We were all going through a metal detector and being searched before going in. How the fuck did they not find this thing?
Yeah.
All right. So now I was like, I'm not scared or anything, but now it's awkward. And now I know it. Now I know it's there. So that's part of my mind. So, I'm just like, you know what? We're just going to shove that in the back there. But be aware that it is.
Do guns scare you, Frankie?
They do.
Where are you from?
I'm from Georgia.
So you should be used to guns, right?
Right. I've only shot guns a couple of times. Mm-hmm. I actually have a clip of it where you could see my whole body just like shaking. Yeah. It's having to have one in my hand just kind of feels weird. It's not the kind of power I'm used to having.
Right. It's a lot of power.
Yeah. Like, cause like this,
you could take a life.
Yeah. I could take a life like right here and now. And I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with them because I have no training with them. That's the thing.
I think I grew up with guns my entire life. So I think for me, it's just like,
yeah.
I had a buddy from San Francisco one time. We were having a conversation about guns and he was just terrified of them. And I'm like, you're terrified of them because you've never handled them. So like, you don't have the training and stuff like you were talking about. Mm-hmm. So that's what actually scares him. It's the ignorance about the guns. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think a good guy with a gun, would make you feel a lot better.
Right. And I guess I'm really not really opinionated on guns too much because like I don't have one. I don't really feel the need to doesn't have one at all. If other people got him, it's fine. You know, it's whatever. It's just because then the guy sitting next to me, he was like, he looks at me and he's like, you didn't see that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now, but yes, I did see that. It doesn't bother me so much, but now we're all fully aware that it's there. Anyway.
But don't you feel like you would be more comfortable if you had one of those in your back pocket too?
No, I would not.
That way, if that guy stood up and was like, hey, motherfucker, give me your wallet.
I just, take my wallet and leave me alone. That's, that it just ended simply.
I mean, you know, people are different, you know. Yeah. For me, I want to be like, no, you're not taking my fucking wallet.
Mm-hmm. And I respect that. And then you see you got a way to defend yourself, and that's awesome. I haven't really been put into situations where I feel like I needed one, and I don't tend to see.
You know what? That. Give me your fucking wallet, Frankie.
Dude. And then, so after the two openers, Bill came on, and but before that, I also noticed that sitting in front of me were a bunch of, I think they were millennials or a little bit younger than me. I see I'm 31. They're at least in their mid 20s. And they were couples, and through all of Bill Burr, they did not laugh. Like, not a single thing from him. You didn't find him at all funny. I was like, so did you just get free tickets? Did you just show up because they invited you?
They went for the gram, baby. Just take some pictures and say we're at Bill Burr.
Yeah,
that's something that gets me about these young kids. They do that shit. They'll just go to a place. They don't even care about being at the place, but they'll go there just to take pictures. We got a friend in, she used to live in Arkansas. I'm not sure where she lives now, but she was trying to do the whole social media famous thing. And she would take suitcases full of clothes to a destination and just change clothes all day long and take pictures for her social medias. What? And it's like you're not even like experiencing, like, she went to one of those festivals. I forget which one it was. Went to the festival, just took suitcases full of clothes, didn't even go listen to the music. Just went and took pictures in her like room and going out to like, you know, the venue.
Mm-hmm. What was the point?
The point is people are getting their gratification from social media. It's disgusting, man.
That is disgusting. I don't even, there was that time where I don't even like looking at pictures of myself too often. Like, I just feel like it's very narcissistic and felt self-absorbing, you know? And I tried during that time when I was doing open mics, I would post, hey, I'm going to be here tonight. Hey, I'm going to be here tonight. And like, the more I did it, the more I annoyed myself. I don't know why. I just like,
I get what you mean.
I don't like looking at the mirror that often. Like,
yeah, that's the world we live in though, man. If you're not like actively promoting yourself, the algorithms aren't going to work for you. Yeah. So I know, I get what you mean. Like, where you think that like, that you're, I guess, posting too much and it's annoying people, but it's almost like you got to do that for the algorithms to work for you.
I get it.
How do you feel about your voice? Because like some people don't like to listen to their voices.
I've actually beginning to like my voice.
Yeah.
There was when the more I talked to people at Starbucks for a few months, and then I'm sitting here like, I like that. You know, like me. I'm finding my tone and you know, different voices that I can try to emulate on stage or I want to work with. I always like to do the deep voice, kind of like how I kind of sound like Satan in a way, like,
yeah,
you know, like there's a bit I've been trying with my cat where I pretend I'm like, when you sit in my lap, I'm a villain for the day.
Oh, pretty kitty. We're going to rule the world together.
You know, just dumb shit like that. And then the other one I did was like, the heavy metal. Like when I'm cleaning the house, I like to listen to heavy metal. It's very aggressive, and I think that's the best way to clean. He's just like, die, bacteria, die, you know. And then it's like, viruses, you are at my mercy. I'm about to kill 99% of you. You know, like I thought that'd be fun. But it kind of hurts though. I have to make sure now that my mouth has started drying up when I get on stage, because I still get kind of nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to find something to sort of stimulate to make sure I keep my mouth water, drinking water naturally or something like that. And gum, I used gum last time, which helped. So.
Yeah, I think that's something that all like performers have to struggle with is, just like the nerves and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think it's also something you get used to as time goes on. Even like the voice thing. Like I was talking to John, the singer that was just on, and he was basically saying the same thing, that there was a time in his life when he didn't really like his voice, but as time goes on and the more he hears himself doing things like podcasts and singing his songs, that he started to like, it's still maybe not that he doesn't like it, but he's used to it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something like, even for me, whenever I first started doing acting and podcasts, I hated listening to myself too. Hmm. But you realize that yeah, I sound like this all the time and everyone's used to that. Yeah. So even if I don't like my voice, this is just me. You just got to be comfortable with yourself, I guess.
It makes sense. As one of my friends quoted to me the other day, it says, it's not about the world accepting you. It's about you accepting yourself. And then once you're able to do that, other people will start accepting you anyway.
I like that.
Yeah. And that's perfect. And I'm like, all right, so I'll go with that mindset then.
Or if you just have a gun, they have no choice but to accept you.
I was going to say that's it. They'll just, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, see this right here? You must accept me for who I am. Oh, man. You can call me God.
Yeah. Okay. Call me God. I am your preacher now.
So you like acting?
That was
that a first time thing?
That was a first time thing. I don't know if I've got the chance to do it again. I would have liked that if I had been more at ease with it.
What was your first time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was really awkward. Like,
well, acting is awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like there was, okay, so I got to like, all right, now I got to remember like, okay, so I get into character. I'm an asshole homeless man. And there's a camera right in my fucking face. And I can't help but look into it because it's right there. And then, okay, so they said, okay, just look out, find a point in the distance.
Yeah, that's a rule you don't want to break, the fourth wall.
Yeah. And I was like, I can see you.
Unless you're Deadpool.
Unless you're Deadpool.
Yeah.
Or Pinkie Pie.
Who?
Pinkie Pie.
Who's that?
It's from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
I don't know.
That's okay. It's like, the fandom, the bronies, always kind of like emulated with, not emulated, but like where Pinkie Pie and Deadpool were kind of like the same characters in a sense, because they would both do like insane shit.
Right.
And Pinkie Pie is sort of like a watered down version of what Deadpool is. So like one of her bits is like, she says, I keep balls randomly around Ponyville in case of ball emergency. Like she'll just pull out a ball some out of nowhere. Then she has what they call the pinky senses, where like part of her tail will twitch or her ears will flap or something like that. And then she could predict the future. Like this character is insane and they loved her. She wasn't my favorite. My favorite was actually always Twilight Sparkle.
You watched the show?
I did. I watched it religiously for a good minute. It was kind of a whole cult following. Yeah. The bronies. And the girls were called Pegasisters, which I think is an unfortunate name because, Peg, a sister. But
I get it.
Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I have shirts. I wrote fan fiction.
That should be your onstage persona.
Just the brony.
Yeah.
Why
not lean into it, man?
I get like, I'll fully admit, I get a little self-conscious about it because it was like, well, there was a bit.
Well, we were talking about it already. You've said when you accept yourself, the world has no choice but to accept you. So accept your fucking self, Frankie.
Right. Well, see, I even, I got a blanket back at the house. I had a Fluttershy Pinkie Pie. Like I was.
Well, I mean, you don't have to bring the blanket with you.
No. I wear the shirts. I wore the shirts.
Oh, that's not My Little Pony.
No, this is a Star Wars one. But
I love Star Wars.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. But there was so much art and everything, and they had whole conventions for them and all sorts of things for bronies.
I bet there are like shit. What are those people that dress up in costumes and go fuck each other?
Oh, the furries.
The furries. Is there like a furry thing for My Little Pony?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So during those times, when I was writing fan fiction, I also followed a lot of other writers. And there's this one writer, his name on there was Brony Stories. And every month, what he would do is that he would post a blog, and it would be a massive graph of how much pony porn was out there. We called it clop. Clop. And what he grabbed everything. Like, this guy had so much time on his hands. So, okay, so this is how many pictures of Twilight was him, and this is how many of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, and so on and so forth. And then he also rated how much of like there was Pokemon porn furries. And here's the thing, Pokemon's been out for ages, right? My Little Pony only came out about like 10 years ago. My Little Pony has reached more pornographic pictures than there has been of Pokemon, anime, and all that stuff combined, practically.
Like, I don't want to kink shame anyone,
right?
But I just don't get jerking off to tiny horses. Like, what is it about a tiny horse that makes you want to bust a nut? I mean, I get Low Punny, the Pokemon. Like, she's like stacked.
Yeah. Low Punny, and then there's the other one, the blue one with the bone. He had a big bone staff thing. Lucario. Lucario was a big one as well.
Lucario.
He's kind of a dog like.
Why would they? Like, for dudes?
Yeah, like they would make him female. They would do this gender. They would do gender swap. They'd also for the face.
Like, think about what they were thinking when they designed Low Punny. Like, it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, they really did it.
If you don't know who Low Punny is, just Google her real quick. Like, they made a Pokemon that looks like a porn star.
But be careful.
Oh yeah, if you Google Low Punny XXX, you'll probably see some. Without a doubt.
Animations and all sorts of stuff. Back to your other question about when they would find them sexually attractive.
I mean, it's cool if you probably do, don't you?
Well,
I'm not gonna kink shame you.
Yeah,
bro.
I know.
I just want to know.
I was into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I even wrote it. I even wrote about it.
Yeah.
So couldn't help it. It was the time. It was whatever the fuck. But the artists, if you saw the way these artists were like passionate about what they drew and how they designed them, you kind of go like, wow, like he made that character really hot. Like, you just like, you kind of question about yourself. Like, oh,
well, that's another interesting point. Like, who makes that art?
Oh, lots of people.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
If you ever want to, there's one of my favorite artists at the time. His name was Fox and Shadow, and Fox and Shadow had this really edgy darkness to what he drew, and also had like it's very stylish and outgoing and whatnot. Like, I designed my own character for My Little Pony, and what he essentially was, he was a Reaper character. He was black and white stripes, and he had a tail that had 3 prongs on it, like kind of like a scythe. And then he also was standing on it with a blade with 3 scythe prongs coming from it. So kind of like, and I asked him to design him just like that, and it came out so fucking cool. And then I also paid him to draw pictures of the anthropomorphic characters, because those are the furries. Designed the My Little Pony characters like that. So, and I would use them as my cover art for the fan fictions I drew.
Yeah.
And not only that, on the it was MLPfanfiction.com something, where a friend of mine at the time, we actually started the first anthropomorphic group on that site. And it just started a whole rage. Like, everybody started getting into it. And then even more and more stories started coming out with those kind of characters. So we kind of brought the furries to that website. And I thought that was amazing, because then there was a time where the furries and the bronies, they didn't get along, because they're like, you're just a horse fucker. And then they're like, but you want to fuck dogs or wolves, whatever. And I'm like, what? How does that make any different? You know, you can't just call us out like that and not expect us to be fucking retorting. Like, you can't just. It's a double standard.
It's very, very much so in that realm.
So, but essentially we kind of brought peace in a way, because then they started talking about it.
Do they ever like do furry conventions here in New Orleans?
I don't think here in New Orleans, but one of the biggest ones is the FWA in Atlanta, Furry Weekend in Atlanta. And they have to, what happens is that every 2 years or so, they have to change hotels. They can't stay at the same hotel every year, because people get really rowdy with the raves and a bunch of fucking weirdos, and I love them.
Yeah,
I love them.
Dude, that's why I love this city. This city's full of weirdos too. That's why when I talk about things like this, it's not a kink shame. I'm just truly interested in how other people live their lives.
Oh yeah.
Because in my mind, I can't conceive, and I might be missing something. Like, it might be actually really fun to dress up as a furry and go, you know, do they have pretend sex, or is it like real sex?
There's real ones. I
didn't know if they made like a giant furry dong and just went and like had sex with a fake vagina in a.
Yeah. Yes. They've actually, there's a website there's actually called Bad Dragon. And they design dragon, dragon dildos, and they do and they dragon dildos, the wolf dildos, all that shit. And
what's the website again?
Bad Dragon. I think it's called Bad Dragon. Yeah, but that's not the only one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a million websites out there now. There's a website for everything, and there is a group for everything. That's why I think this world is so fascinating, because like whatever you can conceive of is probably out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I saw this thing the other day with this guy. He loves to be the first one to Google things, and it's so hard for him to do, but Google will actually send you a plaque if you're the first person to get a Google. Because like everything's been Googled now, but if you have like a structure of a sentence that you're Googling and it's the first one, it actually notifies you on Google.
Oh, well then.
I'm not sure if you have to like set it up to do that. I guess you got to be signed into your profile and stuff, but I know that they'll send you a plaque with whatever you Googled.
That's fair. That's interesting.
It's now a goal of mine. Actually, I want to be the first one to Google something.
Oh yeah, you have to update me. Let me know when you've done it, because that sounds like effort.
Dude, I'm dying right now.
Yeah.
I had a few too many to drink last night, and then there was a wedding reception here yesterday, and so they left all this food after the wedding reception. So we had tons of food here last night, but I was eating some kind of horseradish sauce. Horseradish sauce, and it was spicy as hell, but I can feel it today. Like, it was a mistake to eat that drunk last night.
I can't handle spicy foods that much.
I can, but when I'm drunk, I eat way too much of this shit. So like maybe one bite of that stuff would have been good, but I was just globbing it in last night. It's just killing me today.
I was gonna say when I get stoned, I eat a lot. But I really got stoned in a minute. I take a couple of gummies for bed.
Yeah, I've been trying to. Well, I haven't. I say I've been trying. I haven't really smoked weed in a while. I noticed I was getting fat. Yeah, because I mean, I sit up at night and I watch YouTube videos and smoke weed, and I just want to eat. And anything that's in my house after I get high, I'm just like, food.
Dom.
Yeah, and I go to sleep on a full stomach. Yeah. Wake up the next day, 300 pounds.
Feed the endless pit.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else? What else you want to talk about?
Let's talk about religion.
Religion?
Are you religious?
I am not.
Well, conversation over.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I can tell you a bit about in Georgia, that was a big thing.
How did you get to New Orleans? First of all, you're from Georgia. How'd you get here?
Oh, well, I got here. I moved to Florida for some time, and I was living in Navarre, and then the guy that I was dating at the time, he said he's going to New Orleans, and then I was like, okay, well, and I stood back in Florida for a time, and then he went here, set himself up and whatnot. And then after a month or so, he said, come on over. So then that's how I ended up here. It's really anticlimactic, but.
But so you followed a lover over here.
Yeah.
And are you guys still together?
No.
Okay.
We live in the same house, and we've come to recognize that we're just best friends.
Right.
And that we can hang out and whatnot. But so far as dating, it's not working.
Yeah. What's cool, you guys still like live together and stuff. Yeah. The few times that I guess I've only followed someone like one time, and it was a fucking mistake. I think every time you follow someone, bad news.
Right. And I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't known him for a few years beforehand.
I think you live in a cooler place now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is awesome.
Yeah, this city's great.
I love it. I can't help but tease it from time to time because it has its flaws, but what place doesn't have flaws?
Right.
It's just really holy.
Yeah.
that's the biggest one. I don't drive around, but I mean,
even the sidewalks though.
Yeah.
Like shit. The sidewalks are like popping up and everything, potholes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that's something that they could fix too.
Yep.
But I think that, with our current political system here in the city, they would rather pocket the money than spend it on the infrastructure.
Right. That was I don't know much about it. All I know is from a local, from my friend, he is telling me that they received a lot of money from Katrina during that time. And but the thing was, a lot of that money wasn't being put towards the city itself. They were hanging on to it.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I know there was a limited amount of time. If they didn't spend it when they should, that'll disappear. Is that true?
I don't know that. I know that sometimes it works that way with taxes. So rather than give the city money, what they'll do is they'll give them tax breaks. And if you don't spend the money before the tax season's over, then that money goes to the government.
Okay.
Yeah, or you lose the tax breaks, one or the other, like the tax breaks they were going to give you. So, because every place pays taxes, right?
Right.
They all pay tax to the federal government. So rather than give the money to the government will say, okay, well, this year you don't have to pay us this much money. So the money should be going back to the infrastructure, but they just put it in their pockets instead. Or charge way too much to do stuff like, you could fix these potholes for relatively cheap. Just go buy the stuff, get some labor out here and do it cheap. Well, no, it's like, okay, you want us to fix these 3 potholes? $25 million.
The fuck?
I mean, it's probably not. That's an exaggeration, but still.
Oh, it'd be excessive. And I mean, now the street that I live on, they only just finally fixed a lot of the driveways, like the tips of the sidewalks there, because they were all breaking down. But the last time we saw people actually out there marking up things, where they're going to fix it and whatnot, that was about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
How did it take so long?
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw a video of, I think it was in Japan or China, one or the other, but they had to they were putting in a pipe under a street, and it's a busy street. So they did it overnight, and they literally went in, shut the entire street down, dug it all up, changed this pipe out, had new asphalt laid down before the cars were driving the next day. And we're in, I guess it's almost been about a year and a half they've been working on the street that I live on. And it's so crazy to me. They'll dig up part of it, go away for like a week, come back. You'll see one guy, working on a machine, and there'll be 5 guys just standing out there looking around. I don't know. It just seems like there's more efficient ways to do these things.
There were 5 supervisors.
Yeah, because I don't have a clue about building roads or anything, but it seems like there could be more efficient uses of time.
Oh, yeah.
And money.
I think one of my favorites, but one of the worst, was over at South Claiborne, where they had they actually literally put the hole in the middle of the street and then put a cone on top of it just to say, okay, this is a hole here. Don't go here. And then it's just in the fucking way. I mean, and then there was one where you can just hear every time they roll over it, breaking down the suspension one by one, just a little bit more.
Dude, there was one out here one time, and it was so fucking big. The only reason they actually came to fix it was because a bus hit it one day and then ran into a car. So the city knew they were about to get their asses sued if they didn't actually come fix it.
Right.
But dude, it was just bottoming out cars when they would hit it. I mean, it was incredible how big this fucking thing was. And they're actually all along the street. If you're driving now and you're going from this direction, you'll see on the right side of the road, man, there's just these deep ass potholes. You got to swerve to miss them.
You gotta go around them. I'm just a pothole.
That should be a skit we do.
Yeah, the pothole.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it'd be a funny skit. I'm sure the comedians come up with something funny.
Oh yeah, there was that. It was that old insurance commercial where the pothole was talking, where he says, "Oh, did your car break down? Oh, I would help you out, but I'm just a pothole." And she did it with that southern accent. Yeah. It was perfect.
I've never seen that, but that sounds hilarious.
Oh God.
I like that Mayhem guy.
Oh, the Mayhem guy's great.
He's amazing.
I just remember him being on Law and Order for the longest time.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Like he was
before he got the Mayhem gig.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And he did other things too, but he was in the first couple seasons, and then it turns out he was a dirty cop, so knocked him off. And then I know he was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine for a good minute, occasionally, but he was the Vulture. Because either call him the Vulture because every time they would like the 9-9 cops would try to solve a case, he would just swoop in, steal it, and then leave it. That's the Vulture. So he's done that. I don't know anything else he's ever done.
I mean, once you get a gig like that, though, the Mayhem commercials, like you're set for life.
I was gonna say he's getting paid all the time.
Yeah, he's like the AT&T girl, or there's been several of them. The Dos Equis guy, Progressive, yeah. He is the most interesting man in the world,
and he saved money on car insurance.
Well, that's Mayhem.
Progressive.
Or no, the Dos Equis dude, like that. That's legendary. The fact that they made that guy into the most interesting man in the world, it's the dopest thing ever. Like I wanted to be that guy.
I wouldn't blame you. That guy, and he only had one line. Really. And it was at the end. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Yes.
I wonder if they let me do that now. So they need to start getting footage right now while I'm young. That way, whenever I do get older and gray, then I can be that guy. Because that was the cool thing about him is they had footage when he was like a young man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like whenever he, forget one. He was like went to a tribe somewhere in Africa, but it might not be him. It might be like a young, just a actor they found to play younger him. But it looks so much like him.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that.
When he punches you in the mouth, you resist the urge to thank him or apologize, whatever it is.
You thank him right away.
Yes, he is the most interesting man in the world.
Oh man.
So religion. How do you feel about religion, dude?
Religion. I'm indifferent about it. I always feel like with a lot of religions they're too aggressive with it.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to meet God?
No, dude. There's actually a funny story with that.
You met God?
I met the Mormons for one of the first times.
The ones that use wagons and buggies and stuff?
Oh, the main ones that ride bikes to your house to try to convert you.
That's not a Mormon, is it? That's a...
Amish.
Amish, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
The Mormons are the ones that
they come knock on your door. And they're like,
they're just like Jehovah's Witnesses. But My mom's grandmother was Mormon. And then I made a friend back in high school who was Mormon. And I went to the church with him one day. And I didn't even really go inside. But they discovered that somehow they have my grandmother's name in their system, so-called. So, and then they found out where I lived through my friend from high school. And I was like, why the fuck would you tell them that? But the one night when we're all eating dinner, all of a sudden we see lights. We have this little hill driveway and they were coming down the drive-through on their bikes. And which is, first off, we're way off the main street. How you just decide bravely come down the drive-through.
It's a brave thing.
Yeah, it was really, really brave. So I give them credit for that. But my parents are so pussies about it because we didn't have any weapons like that. And so when they saw them coming down the driveway, we start turning the lights off all in the house to pretend we weren't there. But I think they already knew we were. They saw the lights already. So then they started circling the house, trying to find them knocking on the doors, trying to get in. I'm like, clearly we don't want you here.
It's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. Dude. We were in a horror film of some kind. Like what the fuck? Why are we hiding from these people? Because we don't want to be bothered. And we could have easily called 911. Something.
Yeah.
But we did nothing.
Well,
we did nothing.
What, your parents just didn't want to talk to them?
Yeah, we didn't want to talk to them. We didn't want to be bothered by them. We could have just told them to get the fuck out.
I did that one time. They come to my door and they knocked on it. And I opened the door and I looked at them and they, said whatever they were saying. And I just looked at them and then I shut the door. They took the hint.
Yeah,
they left.
Just left. Now these guys did not take the hint. They were all the way or no way.
That's why you need one of those guns, bro.
Yeah. That's when my mom actually didn't start learning guns until she met her second husband. Mm-hmm. And that's when he was just like, you got to learn how to use a gun. And she's like, oh, okay.
For those fucking Mormons.
Yeah. And when we're moving to Florida, so we don't shoot us down there, But yeah, my thing is with religion, like if it helps you be at peace with yourself, that's great.
But don't push it on me.
But don't push it on me, kind of thing.
That's the thing I hate. I hate when people get really pushy about religion. Mm-hmm. I had my basketball coach when I was in high school. He was kind of that way. It was weird. Mm. Yeah, you're a young kid, and this older man you look up to, he comes in and he's like, let's talk about God. It's like, why? I don't give a shit. If it works for you, do it.
Yeah.
But at the time I was a child, so I didn't understand that I could say that. I thought, I have to be respectful to this guy. Like, no, man, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
I feel like that. I feel like when it comes to the older folks, I always try to be respectful, because I've been around. And sometimes I have a hard time just telling them like, no, just, I don't really want to hear about it because I don't want to offend them or some shit.
Oh, and fuck it. I know. There's monkeys too.
Yeah.
Everybody's just a monkey on this planet.
I feel like the more and more I do stand up, the more I feel I'm able to put myself out there.
Well, what angers me about old people is when they stop learning.
Yeah.
Like I feel when they think they know everything and it's like, bro, there's so much shit on this planet to learn. And if you think you know everything, you're fucking mistaken.
Yeah.
And when you get old and you quit learning, this annoys the shit out of me.
Well, hold on, I'm thinking. There was a moment like that. It wasn't so much of that they weren't learning, is that this lady didn't really have respect. What had happened was over at my workplace, we had run out of napkins for a couple days. Mm-hmm. And apparently this one lady kept coming back. She came back twice. One day I wasn't working, the second day I was. And she was upset by the fact that we didn't have napkins. It was like, your store is supposed to be recycling and whatnot. And I was like, so what? and and it came out of my mouth so quick. I was like, so what do you want me to do? You want me to go through the trash, pull out some napkins for you and give it to you?
Mhm.
Like, I couldn't stop. And immediately she got mad at me. And
Fucking Karen.
yeah, and this was her second time coming there. Like, what makes you think that we would just suddenly have napkins the very next day? I
If you just pulled that,
Yeah. If you just pulled that guy out.
you want some napkins, bitch?
Well, but I could just pour this really hot coffee in your lap real quick. And then
why get upset about that? Like, there's not like that blows my mind when people it's got to be something else. There's got to be something else in their life that they're upset about. And there's blowing up on you because,
because they can't blow up on the person they really want to.
Yeah.
And I've been there, with my last relationship. I never felt like I could actually like say the things that I wanted to say because I didn't want to, upset them in any way, so they perform. And that was falling back onto other people around me.
Yeah.
So like it's toxic, and I hated that.
Yeah.
So, that's that's essentially what's happening to her, is that she got upset because there's other things in her life that are going wrong, and she wants to take it on her.
You know what would really help you out, Frankie? If you got some of these.
People
don't tend to fuck with you when they know that you can rip their head off.
I've been told I should go work out.
I was probably at your size or smaller whenever I first started working out. And the world looks at you differently whenever you're tiny than whenever you're a large human. People tend to get out of your way.
Yeah.
And they talk to you very differently.
Makes sense.
And especially when you kind of wake up and you realize that, when certain people think they have authority over you because they have more money than you or something. And it's like, no, your money does nothing for you when you're locked in a cage with an animal.
Yeah.
So when you become an animal.
Okay. I just have to find the animal. I have to find the designer. Yeah. I have to find the animal, become the furry.
So you're talking about listening to rock music and you take it out on the germs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do when I wake up every morning. I don't clean every day, but I wake up and I throw headphones in, immediately turn on some hard rock music and go to the gym.
Okay.
I love it. The music fuels my soul. Lights me on fire.
Do you go to the Anytime Fitness? Or
no, in my apartment that I live in, there's a gym there.
Nice.
So I just get up and walk to that little gym and work out. Do my little 30 minutes. Do 30 minutes a day.
Hey, that's awesome.
Do my little workout, do my little meditation. Then I come here and deal with this place.
I wanted to say that there's really, I thought it was cool. I tell you, it's cool to have your own bar and then be able to hang out at your own bar. I mean, that's awesome. There was somebody else I was telling that to, and then they were saying why would you do that? Why would you hang out at your own business? It's you would see, the way he argued it was, if you're going to be there and there's certain clientele that you don't want, which doesn't make sense because you want anybody. You come there,
so.
Yeah. You'd want anybody to come, just about. And, but then you say, well, if you hang out there, you're going to you're going to think about, oh, well, I don't want this person here, or I don't want this person here. Cause you're overly thinking about, if this person upsets you in some way, shape or form, but you don't seem like the kind of guy that would really get upset at a person immediately. You seem like you would be very reasonable. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you have to, if you're going to run a business, and I know there are a lot of people in this world that aren't, reasonable, and they run businesses too. But in my opinion, if you're going to be that guy, then you should be level-headed. And I think that's a lot of times, with in management situations, whenever you're dealing with employees, you have to be level-headed. Because if you're not, then you have this ego, power structure, power struggle thing. And I hate that kind of stuff. And that's yeah, I don't understand what that person was thinking. Maybe they shouldn't go in management, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, even from a business perspective, like this place is open to anyone who wants to come in here. And there have been a few people in the past that have that aren't allowed to come back in, but it's not because they were saying anything wrong or offending anybody. It's because they were violent.
Yeah,
like they're hitting people.
I was gonna say that would be like the main thing.
Yeah,
if you start being violent, that's you get the fuck out. Like we don't need you. We don't need your money.
Yeah,
and we don't need your shit. So, and then people just say things to say things. You get drunk, you just start babbling on about whatever the hell.
Oh, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, and
I have no filter in general, and when I get drunk, it just gets a million times worse.
Oh, I'm same way, and I feel like that helps me kind of ease myself, and I had a bad habit for a minute, a bit of an alcoholic. I drank too much. And then there was like, then nobody could understand me. And I was like, no, I got to just like relax with it. Just take it in stride. So, yeah. I mean, you don't kick people out just for saying things. You're not hurting anybody. You just, you're just talking.
Exactly.
Just talking.
Frankie, where can the people find you at?
Oh, you can find me mainly on Instagram, Frankie Andre 42.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's really it right now. I haven't.
And what mics do you hit through the week so they can come see you if they want to?
Oh, mainly I hit, another bar. I also go to New York Pizza on Mondays.
So Mondays, New York Pizza, another bar on Tuesday, and what else?
And Comedy House on Wednesdays.
Dope.
Yeah.
Frankie, thank you for coming into my brother.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, dude.
Great to meet you. Oh, wait.